Welcome, everybody, to episode number 44 of Working the Knee. I am the Big Lucha, back once again with Powerhouse Josh and Hot Tag. All right. The Juice could not be here for this particular episode, so we're going to hold down his selections for him. All right. Gentlemen, what's going on?
Wow. Not much. Not much. Beautiful Saturday here in wherever I'm at.
Undisclosed locations.
I'm from Parts Unknown.
Okay.
Very nice over here today in Parts Unknown.
What's going on, Hot Tag?
Oh, man. Like I said, man, it's just cold here, man, but it's getting better. Like I said, the last 3 days, negative temperatures. We're getting back, man. I think today's high is going to be like 30, 39. So waiting for that warm up, you know.
Going outside in shorts now.
It's Colorado. They was out in shorts when it was -1. You already know it's Colorado. I can give my location, by the way. Nothing secret about that. So
it's only 34. It's only 34 degrees here in Texas.
Man, you guys had the icy roads and all that.
Yeah, almost bust my ass. Just like when I was telling y'all I was out a little earlier, I was going to the car. And I did like I looked like Silver Surfer out there. I was sliding. I thought that was the end of me.
Boy, I know down in Texas they got no preparation for that. So
not at all. It happens every year. It snows every year. Every year that I've lived in this region of the country, Oklahoma, northern Texas, it snows every year. It's not brand new.
It's a shock every year too.
Every year. Oh my God, there's ice. No shit.
I know that. So I'm like, oh damn it, it's coming back again. The weatherman wasn't lying.
Yeah,
I think it would happen again. We don't got show snowballs, don't got no snow plow, nothing. They just riding by the seat of their pants down there, and we love it. That was
one thing that I loved when I was in Colorado is that by the time you wake up and stretch, come outside, the roads is clear. You got to get yourself out of your driveway, yeah, but the roads were already clear.
No, it's not like that anymore.
It's not?
No.
Oh man, that used to be the life.
Yeah, just give them a couple hours. The main road, yes, they'll be clear in a couple hours, but the side streets suck, man. It's
yeah, they don't do that here. They don't even do the main roads here. That first day, we was like, it might as well have been the start of COVID again. We was stuck in the house. It was like, golly. But anyway, today what we're going to do for those who are watching, we are going to get into our Mount Rushmore. So this is going to be episode number 1 that we're going to do. We're going to do three versions of this. We're going to do one for the men, which is what we're going to do today. And then we're going to do one for the women, and we're going to do tag teams.
Yes, sir.
So
3-part series.
So we can go ahead and get started, man. What do you guys got?
I would say, do we want to jump into it, or do we want to talk at all about the week of wrestling? Since it's probably going to be a shorter list.
Did anything even happen in weekend wrestling? I mean, it seemed like a quiet week to me. I think the biggest thing is Cesaro. That's like the biggest thing.
Yeah.
I'd say Cesaro did leave, and through our chat, there's a pretty adamant that you guys didn't want him in AEW.
No.
He'll
be a straight mid card. He'll be the same position he was in WWE.
So what if he does, though? What if he, because he's more than likely going to end up in AEW. I really don't see him going anywhere else. But I've heard, what if he does end up doing like the what we have right now with Danielson and Moxley, like the tag team of violence or whatever they're going to be called. What if they had Cesaro or whatever he's going to be?
Was he be an enforcer like Jake Hager?
Maybe something like that.
Nah, we already have a Jake Hager. I don't need to see that.
You don't want to see a Jake Hager. You want to see a better Jake Hager.
Yeah, man. I'm saying it's already been done. Why would we want to see that again?
Yeah.
How do you say it? What's his real name? What's his
Claudio?
Claudio. You want to see Claudio in there?
Yeah, I want the real Swiss Superman. I want him to be at his best. I don't want to see him come in because AEW's roster is starting to get loaded now.
Yeah, they're bringing in too much, man.
They won't let anybody go. They didn't even let Brian Cage go. And they haven't used him.
Yeah, that was a mistake. Like, get him out of here.
That was the biggest shock of the week.
That was a Vince McMahon move right there. You're not going to go to my competition. You're going to stay right here.
Yeah, he's starting to get into that. I'm a little worried. I would like to see him.
That.
I would like to see him, and I would like to see him team up with, if Moxley says no, or even if he says yes, I'd like to see him and Bryan Danielson do some stuff. That's me personally.
I would like to see him go to Impact, become a champion, and then let's do a Forbidden Door or something. Like, you can have him cross brand, but I know if he goes to any other promotion, he'll be bigger than if he goes to AEW. Yeah. Any promotion, he'll be bigger.
Yeah, I know he'll be bigger. I want him to get paid too, though. He's like one of those talents that needs to get paid.
I read that Moose is actually injured and is going to have some time off here in the future. Boom. I feel like that's the door.
There you go.
Have a shocking, because he doesn't have to wait 90 days. He can walk in tomorrow and beat Moose down and be the champ. Like, it can happen. Let's do something like that instead of him coming to AEW and then wind up being lost in the shuffle. For everybody that we want to become, some version of a champion. We got Keith Lee just showed up. We got Buddy Matthews now that just showed up, which I was kind of glad to see him show up.
Jacked.
The man, he hasn't missed a single time in the gym since he's been released. Not a single day.
Not a single carb. It was not had a carb since 1992.
Man,
jacked.
I think that's a good look, and with the rumors of Swerve Scott coming, and
he already signed. I thought they said he signed.
Yeah, they said he signed.
He just hasn't given the graphic yet. The good old Tony Khan Triple H point yet.
It's gonna be what, Wednesday? Doesn't Khan have a big announcement Wednesday?
Swerve ain't that announcement.
You don't think so?
He's not a big announcement.
He's got a big
announcement. Big announcement does he have? What else can you be out there? What's your big announcement? Is that another match to Revolution?
We're extending Rampage to 2 hours, or it's going to be 5, or like something has to happen with your roster growing.
I think they're gonna do that. Maybe not the 2 hour thing, but maybe going back live. Maybe something
watch the announcements. We've re-signed Cody Rhodes. Oh, we tricked you guys.
Like, now I really need to sell my WrestleMania tickets. I don't know. I think we keep, because they're pulling in everybody. They're grabbing all the talent up. I think this is the perfect time to go ahead and introduce the trios titles. Maybe that's the announcement.
Yeah, that would be dope.
If you threw in some trios tag team titles, I think that gives a lot of people a lot of stuff to do. Because now you have Kings of the Black Throne, or the House of Black, whatever they want to be called, with Buddy Matthews. Now you already got Death Triangle. You can afford to have Jurassic Express drop the belts and still go after some championships, because I think Proud and Powerful they need something here.
Right.
They need something here. And then hell, if you get Mox, Brian, and Claudio together, there's another trio right there. I think we got, I think introducing those titles would free up a lot of or make room for a lot of potential talent that's not getting seen on TV as much as they should be. Still say Keith Lee should go for the TNT belt, though.
He should.
You guys think that Elevation and Dark should have their own belts? should a belt be featured on AEW Dark and Elevation?
It would bring more eyes to those shows.
I'm not saying it have to be a new belt, but like say TNT title or some. If a belt was like featured on those shows, or matches was featured on those shows, would that bring more eyes? I mean, it would bring more eyes, but
it would bring more eyes. Would I start watching it? No, but
I never catch it live. Like the day it comes out, I'm always
I catch it later on.
Later on, I mean, it's YouTube. You can go back and watch it. So
right, that's the power of it. I would say if they did something like TNA's, like what's it? Like I think it's called like Operation C or Plan C or something like that.
Oh yeah, Option C.
Option C. Yeah, that sounds right. Option C, where they have X Division belt. I'm going to go ahead and drop that for a shot at the world title. I think if they did something like that, like if you were on Dark and Dark Elevation and you were, say, like the champ of that show or whatever, you say, hey, I'm going to drop my title for a chance to move up to the main roster. I think that'd be something cool.
Yeah, I think that'd be They have to put something on those shows, man. Like I said, right now it's just filled, it's just stacked, and you always know who's going to win. I'm like, all right, these people are going over. I've never heard of this team over here going up against, like I say, Proud and Powerful. Oh, I already know who's going to win this match. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's always, you know who's going to win these matches, and I mean, it's cool to get a 45-2 record, but come on, guys.
That show is literally put together just to piss you off when you watch AEW Dynamite and we get the text saying, "There's no way Ricky Starks is 40 wins. There's no way."
Dude, MJF is 16-3, dude. For the last 3.5 years.
Yeah, he stays true. He stays true to it.
Ricky Starks is what, 42 and what? Like 4 or something like that?
Something like that, like 4.
Dude, MJF hasn't wrestled like maybe he wrestles like 3 times a year.
Yep. What's crazy is all 4 of those losses, I'm sure I remember seeing. I don't remember seeing him win, but I definitely remember the losses.
Yeah, I'm like, did he wrestle 16 times? I don't remember that. Because he only wrestles what? The pay-per-views.
The pay-per-views.
He wrestles once a quarter in the pay-per-views. That's it.
Mm-hmm. If you're gonna do it, that sounds like a good way to do it.
I wonder how much he's getting paid. I need that contract.
I was gonna say I would love to do that. To get paid for working 1 day a month.
Is Buddy Matthews? Because I feel like the 2 biggest things that's happened this week is Buddy Matthews and Cesaro. Buddy Matthews arriving, Cesaro departing. I feel like those are the 2 biggest things. Nothing really on Raw or nothing really. The WWE is about to piss me off, so I'm trying not to like talk about it, I guess. But I feel like it's about to piss me off more than it's already pissed me off. I understand now that Lashley is hurt and had to drop the titles and is going to need some surgery, so I'm a little bit better about that. But everything else is still pissing me off. And so it's looking like we're about to have a title unification.
Right.
I think that's the only thing that saves it for me is that it's not just champion versus champion now. Like now there's something on the line, and it sounds like we're getting rid of the brand split. So
are we getting rid of the brand split or just the merging of the belt?
There was reports that said that this might be the catalyst to get rid of the brand split, which I mean, maybe we need to get rid of that because I mean we did just have the New Day versus Los Lotharios for the 3rd week straight.
True. Last
night, and for some reason the Viking Raiders still haven't fought the Usos. So I don't know. I think I'd be all right with it. I'd be all right. 1 world champion floating between brands, but not really have the brands mean anything because right now it's just set up. Like, what does the brand split really mean? Just so we can have red versus blue at Survivor Series?
True.
It's been the weakest Survivor Series these past. Like, that's the reason we're saying get Survivor Series out as the big 4.
It was because the roster was so huge that you had to have so much talent on 3 different, NXT and SmackDown and Raw. Right. It was so much talent before. Now it's like they done fired 85 people. Got
rid of that problem.
What's the point of having 3 shows? You ain't got three shows worth of people anymore.
True.
Plus, you got to think like the TV deals. They're probably going to be ecstatic to have Roman Reigns on both USA and Fox. They're going to love that. They're going to love having Ronda on Monday and Friday.
Right.
Ronda needs a manager.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely.
She needs Paul Heyman.
I
don't know another manager. I don't know who else is a good talker.
I got it. Shout out Malcolm Bivens in NXT.
Malcolm Bivens, man.
Bivens is the guy. Yeah. Bring that man up.
Whoever can speak for her.
Right.
I think.
He could do it. He does a diamond mine. So it's already he's already got that kind of legitimate looking stable. So hell yeah. Have Malcolm Bivens come up on the regular main roster, do that, and then go back down to NXT on Tuesdays.
Yeah.
I know one more thing that we need to talk about was the impressive debut of Nikita Lyons.
I knew he was going to bring that up.
I don't think we could talk about it on this show.
I knew he was going to bring that up.
Let's do that work in the knee after dark. We'll do that.
So it's for working the knee dark.
That was a great technical display that she put on.
She was actually really good. She was actually really good in the ring.
You can't even say that.
No, like I can't say it because I'm looking at you. That's why. I'm looking at you and you're over here smiling and grinning ear to ear. You're lucky my wife out getting groceries right now. No, it was actually pretty good. Like
she is actually good. She was good. Actually wrestling too.
That's what I'm saying. That roundhouse kick, that was fire.
It looked kind of dangerous though. I ain't gonna lie to you. It looked like the one that put Mercedes out.
Yeah.
She was going for channeling her inner Xia Li, her hero.
I was like, wait a minute, don't kill somebody in your debut. Don't knock her out.
I was gonna say, if anything, let's be honest, the pin was gonna kill her.
That's what I'm saying. Which is more impressive, Melina's split pin or her split pin?
You know, the actual split, Melina's.
Yeah, but I think.
But the presentation.
The most impressive thing about that was the girl who took that pin, because at least when Melina did it, she would just drop like the leg on somebody's chest.
Yeah.
Right. Nikita, she don't play around. She's like, you're not kicking out of this.
Heat on your throat.
Full weight. Full weight on this, but
you're not kicking out of that.
You're not kicking out of this one. Nope.
Sign me up for the never stop.
Yeah, man. I can't believe you brought that up into the.
I could. I knew you were going to do it. So, I thought we were safe because it was on NXT, but I knew we couldn't get away from it.
We need the ratings, man. we need the ratings.
Just play a clip of it. Show them people what we're talking about. A quick gift.
I wish I had it. I wish I had it preloaded.
She has the second, in my opinion, the second best pin in the wrestling game right now.
next
the person?
Jade Cargill.
Oh. Huh.
Because she at least hits the move and then goes into it. Seamless.
Yeah.
Seamless. It's definitely not a thirst trap move.
Next week when we have our top, our Mount Rushmore for women is Nikita making anybody.
She might be a dark horse to get on the mountain.
Write this down now, man. You just persuaded me to change my picks real fast.
Nikita has made she's entered the chat now.
Oh, y'all wrong for that.
Early contender.
For Mount Rushmore.
We're not looking at anybody else from NXT to make the top list. But she's coming in right now.
Good job.
All right, but that's pretty much the week, man. It ain't really.
Yeah. It
was kind of a down week.
It's always good to give a little recap to make sure everybody was actually watching it. Because Big Luke has been known for not following through and coming on an episode and being like, "Hey, I'm gonna be honest, I didn't catch anything this week."
That was the basis of our show early on.
Very early episode. I'm gonna need you to run down everything that happened this week, and I'll point the camera.
Look, I don't know what the hell happened on NXT this week. Period. Yeah, that was the whole basis of the show from the beginning. But getting into the Mount Rushmore is what we're here for today. This is hard. This isn't something that's as of right now, I still don't even have a fourth.
I don't think any of us do.
No, me neither.
This is a very difficult list. I don't know, the way it sounds between the two of you, it don't look like nobody's prepared. So who's ready?
No, I was gonna say there's two different options, right? So for me, you say the Mount Rushmore. So there's two options. There's the Mount Rushmore of what they did in wrestling, and then there's Mount Rushmore of my favorites. You know, there's two different ones. Even on my favorites, I don't think I have a fourth. I know for what they've done for wrestling is not. I only have three as well. So
right.
I mean,
I will say, go ahead, Josh.
Oh no, I was gonna say that's just the hardest part is taking what they did and who my favorites are, because you can't deny some people's effect on the wrestling business, but at the same time, I might not like that individual at all,
right.
And I would not want them anywhere near my my top four, my Mount Rushmore. So
yeah.
If it was just like, hey, contributions, I think it'd be a lot easier to nail down.
Yeah.
Mine, I didn't even think about the whole contributions. I was just going off of my personal favorites.
Oh man, then your list, we already know your list. Blacks and Samoans, man. We don't have to do this.
Nah,
Man, let's cut Raph out of this. You're out. You're out, dude. You're out.
It's only one full black on this list.
Give me admin powers.
All right, let's do this. Let's run down this list.
Okay.
Josh, you go ahead and go first.
Okay. One person at a time. Well, then, there's no secret. I mean, anybody who's been watching this channel for a little bit knows who my favorite wrestler of all time is. The one that got me into it and keeps me interested up until I was a I don't know, 13-year-old, and then I was set for life. But it's Eddie Guerrero, man. Viva la raza, all the way. He is my number one. These are all out of order, but obviously Eddie Guerrero is my favorite all-time wrestler. So trying to grow the mustache out like him in honor.
Yeah, you gotta get the mullet too.
that's gonna be written into the regs here shortly. So
you're a little too honest and clean to be an Eddie fan, man. You gotta start lying a little bit more, cheating and things.
I cheat on my taxes.
Yeah,
yeah, man. I don't think you're supposed to. But we know who's getting audited this year. So
all the IRS people watching right now.
I'm gonna need you to start hitting people and then turning around and acting like it wasn't you.
That's what I do. I just do that with the vehicle. I don't do it in real life, but hit and runs every now and again, cheat on the IRS, and I don't know. I've stolen some mints before, but they're off of coworkers' desks. I think I nailed that. I think I'm the spitting embodiment of Eddie Guerrero.
Who you got in the top and at your first pick?
See, man, like I said, favorites are contributions. Contributions, it gotta be Hogan for contributions. My favorite is gonna be the one, the only, the wild man, runs to the ring. Don't know how he has these matches, Ultimate Warrior.
I was gonna say Hogan.
You know, that's what I was alluding to it earlier with. If you would have asked me this question maybe 5 to 10 years ago, I would have a solid fourth, and that would be Hulk Hogan. I think over time, for one, not just because of what he said and who he has shown to be over the last decade or so, but when you really look back at Hulk Hogan's career, is there a match other than maybe was it 17-18? WrestleMania 17-18, him versus Rock?
Mm-hmm.
And maybe WrestleMania 5, him and Savage. Remove those two matches. It's like, I don't think of a Hogan match where I just was wowed at the end of it.
And that's what I'm saying, not as a favorite, but as his contribution to the business.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You have to give him his props for that. I mean, he's a household name still to this day. I did the contribution list off of, if I ask my mom, hey, do you know who this is? And she goes, yeah.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? She knows who Hogan is. She knows who the other members of my contribution list are. If I go my favorite, she's like, I don't know who that is.
I think, all right,
correct. Mom's Mount Rushmore.
Correct me if I'm wrong here. All right. The contributions list, and I'm just going to throw 4 names out here. This may not be who you're thinking, but it would have to be Hogan, Austin, Rock, and Cena as 4th, right?
No. Contribution list?
Contributions.
Let's do this. My contribution would be Hogan, Flair. I just forgot the 3rd one. Hogan, Flair, Austin. And now I don't know a 4th. I can't even put Rock in there because, I mean, you look at eras, right? You know, they got the aggression, you know, you got all that stuff. But Austin, that's Austin's era. It's not the Rock's era. Rock contributed to that era. But that's Rock's. Rock contributed to the era, but that's Austin's era when you look back at it. Like I said, I asked my mom, you know, she knows Stone Cold. So I'm like, all right, cool. She knows a Rock too, but she knows Stone Cold, which amazed me. I'm like, wow. But those 3 names right there are my top 4, our top 3. I mean, those contributions alone speak for themselves. Now, you could throw The Rock in there, but when I go back and look at The Rock, you know what? The Rock only wrestled, 5 years, 6 years before he went to Hollywood?
Yeah, about 6 years.
Yeah. Comes
That's how
shows
you
up
know.
every once in a while, you know. But
That's how she knows The Rock from the Tooth Fairy.
See, on the flip side of that, my mom, if I was to ask my mom right now, she's not gonna know Stone Cold, but she's gonna know The Rock. And then as
but
a
does she know The
wild
Rock
card,
from wrestling, or does she know The Rock from movies?
she would know The Rock, period. Like she would know The Rock.
I say if you know The Rock, you probably know that he was a part of wrestling.
Yeah.
I know people, especially females, who are like, "Oh, I didn't know he did that before." And then I got to school, and I'm like, "Where do you think he gets all this?" And oh, it makes sense. Yeah,
it's gotta be younger. It's gotta be younger females, though, right?
No, they're like
really?
older.
Because anybody who was like a teenager, at least in the '90s, would know that The Rock is.
Oh, like I said, there's my age, and they're like, I didn't know he was a wrestler, and I'm like, damn.
Oh, okay.
Like I said, he wasn't around that long to be impactful, you know.
I know my mom would know Hogan. I know she would know Rock. I don't know if she would know Flair. She probably know Andre.
Everybody's got to know Flair, right?
Yeah.
Flair didn't. He wasn't like Flair is big for wrestling. He's not. He's
for pop culture. He is now.
And now he's
that Ric Flair drip. So
yeah,
he is now.
But back in the 90s and early 2000s, he wasn't big outside of the world of wrestling. It just was a well-known fact that he was the greatest wrestler ever as far as wrestling is concerned. A lot of people knew that about him. But outside of that, back in the day, she wouldn't, unless she was sitting with me and my dad and WCW's on and she sees a man come out in the robe, she ain't gonna know who the Nature Boy is back in them days.
Right.
That's fair.
So can we all agree Hogan, Stone Cold, right? Everybody has those two, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes. Just those two. I think those are the only two you can agree on.
Yeah. So, and even Brian, even the Juice had those two on his.
Yep.
But he had Taker and San Martino. I mean, San Martino, what, the longest reigning? Is that right?
Yeah.
Yeah. He's the one that basically got them started. I would say, because mine would be Taker, well, the two, Hogan and Austin, and then it would be Taker, and for me, it would be John Cena because of what he was able. Because he did have his own era. That was his era from 2005, pretty much until he gave it up just recently.
And the only reason I would put Cena on that list because if I'm gonna put Flair on that list, I have to put Cena on that list too. I can't put Taker on that list because, I mean, don't get me wrong, Taker's a great man. Everybody talks about him big backstage. But again, if I ask my mom, "Hey, you don't Undertaker?" She's like, "I don't know who that is." Like I say, if you're not wrestling, you don't know who Undertaker is.
I kind of want to call my mom right now. Like usually, I kind of want to call her. You know what? Hold on. Let's see. Let's do this here.
Go ahead. Call your mom.
Let's see if she.
About time we got Mama Lucha on the show.
Let's see if mom, if she's even available right now. She might not be available.
What I will say while he's calling his mother is for Taker, I think he's got to be on there contribution wise because wrestling is, majority about working the fans and gimmicks, and he is the greatest gimmick of all time. Even to be able to be a dead man in the internet age, I think that kind of goes. We don't give that enough credit.
So mom is unavailable right now. So
I do Taker. If you put Taker, like say he's reinvented himself, he's done this, that, and the other, then you might as well put Jericho on that list then. Because I mean, look at what Jericho's done.
Jericho, he wouldn't make the Mount Rushmore, but he is the GOAT. So
we really gotta get. Maybe my mom calls back here in a second, but the mom test is a good test for this.
You can go live, baby. Mothers just be calling in.
Like we need because you ask your mom that will set off a whole era. If your mom knows who this person is, that will say a lot about who that person is. I was gonna say my mom probably would know who Shawn Michaels is over Ric Flair, but that's because of me watching it and the era that I grew up in. Yeah, man, I wish you would have answered the phone. That would have been great.
My mom was a decent sized wrestling fan, so asking her would not be a good litmus test.
Yeah, I wouldn't ask my dad because for one, if I ask my dad, Ric Flair is number one across the board on the giving back to the culture and his favorite.
But every Mount Rushmore just hit him, just his face 4 times.
He might not have 2 through 4, but he's gonna have Ric Flair at the top of the list. So man, we're gonna have to get back to Moms here. Hopefully calls back. But on my personal list, Ron Simmons is number 1 for me on my personal list.
I figured you would be on that.
Just because, and when after the Royal Rumble, or was it Royal Rumble or the Elimination Chamber, when they had his Broken Skull sessions, it just brought back so many, memories and thoughts. And
how was that? I haven't watched it.
Mom is calling back. Hold on.
I haven't seen it either. Ron Simmons
on the list. It's on the list.
I got you. I got you on my show, Mom. So don't say nothing that's going to incriminate you.
Because I was getting ready to go out, though.
Hey.
This is my mom, fellas.
Hi, Mom.
So, Mom, what we're doing is we're talking wrestling, right? And we're saying who are people that our moms would recognize, like wrestlers that our moms would recognize in terms of greatness. Like, I know you didn't watch as much growing up, but names that you would recognize if you saw them.
Hulk Hogan, that big dude, what was
Andre the Giant?
Yeah, him. The Rock.
I told y'all The Rock. I told you.
There you go.
You got one more?
It's a black dude.
Which one?
He was bald-headed. I don't know his name though. That big dude.
Hogan, Rock, Andre. You said a bald black man. Only one that I'm thinking of is Ahmed Johnson, but that's probably not.
I was thinking maybe Junkyard Dog. He was big back in the day.
But he wasn't bald. He had a little baby fro.
He had a little bit? Okay.
Yeah.
That's what I was thinking. I don't know.
Ask your mom if she knows who the Undertaker is.
That's all I could think of right now.
Do you know who the Undertaker is, Mama?
Yep. I remember him.
Boom.
And what about Shawn Michaels?
I remember that name.
Well, that's a solid
and some of the ladies.
Which ones? Which women? Well, that's what we're gonna get into that next week. But you can say which ones you think about. We're gonna do a different show for the women next week.
Is it the Total Bella ladies?
Yeah. So you watched the Total Divas.
Total
you
Divas. Yep.
I kind of glanced past it, but I didn't really just watch it.
Okay.
And then they sisters and they pregnant together or something.
Yep.
They
were. Yeah. Back. Yep. Well, all right. We were just trying to see because we were saying while we were watching or while we was discussing it, like which ones would our mom, which wrestlers our mom would recognize in terms of their overall appeal. So
I bought you almost every last one of them wrestling men. You had a whole string of them.
Yeah,
I still remember every last one of them.
Yeah, I had about all of them.
Every one that came out, he got them.
Yep.
Spoiled.
The ring, the wrestling ring, and everything. So, yeah.
Yep. Okay, Mom, I'll let you get ready to go.
Okay, see y'all later.
All right, bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Dude, I'm not putting the Bellas on my top 4 Mount Rushmore.
Nikki and Bree just filled out 2 slots. Perfect.
So mom knew the Undertaker. Well, the main 3 she knew was Hogan, Andre, and The Rock. That was her top 3 that she said,
Right.
and we kind of filled in Taker and HBK. So,
And again, that could be going off of her memory of what she bought you.
yeah,
Right.
Apparently, you had everything.
yeah, I'm the baby.
Spoiled
I
ass.
had it all.
I didn't know you were a brat like that, but
Yeah,
Like, we didn't need
look
some.
around me right now.
the lucha brat, the big lucha brat.
Yeah, so
So
See, that's a
contribution wise, I say we got Hogan, we got Stone Cold. I guess we can throw in who we throwing in. I mean,
it's for each. I'm sticking with Taker and Cena.
I say if I put Flair in there, I have to put Cena in. So that would be my 4. Would be Hogan, Flair, Cena, and Austin. Those would be my 4.
contribution wise, I would say Hogan. Hogan is the MJ of wrestling. He's
Right.
Michael Jordan of professional wrestling. Austin, of course.
Mhm.
Austin, if not more. Like when wrestling was going down,
Right.
Austin was like, no, and let's keep it going.
Mhm.
Shit, man, I would have to go with Taker as far as that, maybe because Mom knew who he was, and
Yeah,
that's
what has he done though? Like, I mean, I know, like, say, oh, he's a great guy. He stuck with the gimmick for 20, but what has he done, man? Like,
That's just it for me. He's just the wrestling is a lot about gimmicks, and it's going away from it now. It's mostly just like, hey, I'm a good wrestler in the ring. But Taker had a gimmick that, again, lightning came from the sky, bro. And you were like, whoa, lightning. And we believed it, or at least I did, until I was like 19. I was like, that can't be right. I mean, he doesn't really have powers. I still believe Kane has his powers, but
say Kane can control fire. Okay.
Kane can control fire, Undertaker can control lightning, and that's how I described it to my dad when we started watching it. I just think gimmick-wise,
so just for that, if you put Taker on the list, how come you can't put Kane on that list?
Corporate Kane.
Kane's ended a little bit. It wasn't like Taker was Taker for 30 years. He was
Kane was Kane for 20 years. I mean, corporate Kane.
He kind of switched it up.
The only reason that I couldn't do it is because isn't Kane kind of like a de facto, like you made that character off of The Undertaker, right? Like the concept of Kane only came into existence because we had an Undertaker and we needed a brother for him to kind of further a storyline.
They used Kane for so much, man. What was it? Fake Diesel.
Yeah.
They
did. Yeah.
Isaac Yankem DDS. I mean, they used let's shoot. Kane played the company card too. Put him on the Mount Rushmore.
Look at it like this. And I think this is the best way to argue Undertaker's spot. Nobody else is about to go in the Hall of Fame this year. It's Taker. When has that ever been done?
No, I take that off because they offered Jeff. And if Jeff would have said yes.
That is true. Jeff was going to be in that this year.
But when is it? Like, when is this ever? Hogan didn't even go by himself. And that's your biggest star ever.
But he would have by himself if the other people would have said no like Jeff. But they didn't. So he had to go in with the other people.
You don't have another person besides Jeff Hardy?
You know what? I think they did, but they don't want to take that chance of being said no to. So, like, hey, man, let's just stick with Taker.
You got rid of this dude. You fired this dude on some BS, and now you shocked that he's like, no, I want nothing to do with you guys. Like,
no, he said he didn't want nothing to do with him because he wanted his brother to go in too. They wanted to go in as a duo. That's his reasons. He said no for.
That's what you do then. You don't have Jeff without Matt.
Well, then how come Taker didn't go in with Kane? Huh?
No, stop it. Stop it right now. We can have different contributions in Mount Rushmore. Let's get back into our Mount Rushmores.
Okay.
Jeff Hardy and Matt, they're going to go into our favorites. So the Hardy Boys are going to go into the Hall of Fame either way. There's no keeping them out.
Favorites, I already told you. Warrior is because, man, as a kid, man, I couldn't get – that dude was my guy. Mm-hmm. I go with Nash or Big Daddy Cool Diesel. I was like that dude, And then I look back at what him and Hall have done for the company. I said before them, there weren't big money contracts like that.
Yeah.
That's when everybody
Right.
started doing the negotiations. No more handshakes. We got to get contracts down. Number 3, I got to have Kofi on there because that's my guy. And it was I can't think of the name. What's the champion? When you got all the belts?
The Grand Slam.
Grand Slam champion. You know what I'm saying? It took him that long to get there. And then, like I said, I don't have a 4th. I'll put The Rock on there, but
It's just because
The Rock makes me so mad, man. Sometimes I just can't have him on there. Some days it's good, some days it's bad. But I think, you know what makes me mad about The Rock is I'm looking at Hollywood Rock compared to Wrestling Rock. Like, Wrestling Rock is cool. Hollywood Rock, I'm looking at him like, dude, claim your black side, dude. Like,
yeah,
claim your black side. I look at all his movies, and I'm like, dude, how come you never have a black leading lady? Like, never once has he had a black leading lady, except for Janet Jackson at the end of
See, but that wasn't his movie.
That's what I'm saying. He was only in it for 2 minutes.
Yeah.
So I can't even claim that one. But then, like I said, I'm judging him off of Hollywood, not wrestling. Now, if I judge him off of wrestling, of course, Rock can go in there as my top 4. I mean, the man did what he did. He was awesome on the mic. He put asses in seats. So those are my 4 for favorite.
What you got, Powerhouse?
my 4, I guess since had a little bit of time to think about it and talked a little bit about it too. So it's got to be Eddie. Eddie, obviously, going in because he's the one that got me interested and kept me interested in it. Plus, there's no better, was it No Way Out? No Way Out, 2004 when he won the title. I don't know if there's a better. I know Kofi's moment is up there, but there's no bigger one for me than that beating Brock at that time. Shawn Michaels, because HBK, when he's from my hometown, got to show love to the hometown, not like Keith Lee in Fort Worth. Never.
Wichita Falls.
They're not showing no love down there. I'm sorry, Wichita. They're not showing no love down there. So I got to show my boy some love. Plus, he just, him and the Boyhood Dream. When I went back and watched that, because I didn't see it live. When I went back and watched that, that was one of the best moments in WrestleMania history as well.
One of my favorite matches of all time.
There was no need for the Iron Man stipulation, turns out, but still. Right. Great match, and he came down from the fucking rafters.
Right.
HBK had it all. He had it all. So those two.
Mr.
WrestleMania, absolutely. And then it gets a little bit tricky. I'm gonna go with John Cena because of what he did. I never was one of those guys who was like, you need to turn Cena heel. I always loved seeing him come out and beat up the other guys, even if it wasn't the right call. I never walked away from a Cena show or match thinking like, damn it, Cena won again. That's just me. I loved him. Plus, merch selling, I want all his merch. I don't care what people said about the spinner belts. I thought
the Fruity Pebble colors.
All the Fruity Pebble colors got to get the whole rainbow is going to be lined up on my wall. And when he turned that U.S. title into a spinner belt the first time, I was maybe 10, 11 years old. I thought that was the coolest shit ever. So everything that he did, love John Cena, and go watch Peacemaker.
Great, great show.
Yes. Great show. And then the 4th one's a little bit crazy. But I'm going to go, my 4th is going to be AJ Styles.
Man, I swear you just named 5 people, man.
I swear you have 4 already.
Yeah, dude. You said Eddie, HBK,
John Cena.
Okay.
You didn't say Taker? Did I imagine that?
That's your contribution.
Oh, okay. I'm like, man, these have 6.
Yeah, my Mount Rushmore goes miles, bro. It wraps around the canyon.
This guy's got to start in 5.
Are you putting AJ on there? I mean,
my all-star lineup. That's what we do next. It's the same thing as Mount Rushmore. It's just 5 people instead. Starting all-star lineup. But no, my 4th one has got to be AJ. He got me into indie wrestling. So he got me to look outside of WWE. He was my favorite when TNA was TNA and Impact. Just some of the moves he was doing and everything like that. And he's the one that got me like thinking like, oh, because seeing Eddie and all those other guys, they're about my height and everything like that to be able to go out and do that stuff. But when I saw AJ doing the stuff, I was like, that looks like something that I would actually like to do and not just watch it on TV. So I attribute like AJ Styles to my itch to get into an actual wrestling ring. So I give that. I think he deserves a place up there. Plus, he's phenomenal.
I'll give you AJ. I like AJ when he was the Grand Slam champion of TNA.
Yeah,
And
he's been. I mean,
that AJ, I never thought he'd come to WWE. I was like, that man is the man. He can go to all the independents. He can do whatever. When he came to WWE, I did see him lose something, but that's what WWE does. That's the factory. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna take something from you. They're not gonna let you be who you were. So
whole time,
just part of the process. But I will say I think he's gotten way better on the mic since coming to WWE.
Yeah,
he's never a great promo in the Indies, but since he came into WWE, I think they just extra layer to his character.
But let me ask you, which better? You like heel AJ or face AJ?
I like face AJ. I think heel AJ is funny just because he can say whatever he wants to. Like they're not like, what are you gonna tell?
Heel AJ has made him better on the mic to me.
Okay.
Which most heels are better on the mic, when they're heels. Right. Face AJ's like he has to find the words to say because he has to say the right thing. You can't just go out there as a heel and say whatever you want as a face. You gotta go and you gotta ring it back.
Right. He's just too good to be his moveset is too good to be a heel moveset. And when he's in there as a baby face, once he took the title off Jinder and did that whole run for like a year, I wasn't one of those guys who was itching for the title to come off. I was like, he's doing great as a baby face right now. He was one that
you didn't want Shinsuke to take it off of him?
I did want it at that, but once I figured out like, okay, Vince isn't gonna do it. I would have liked Joe to take it off, but at the same time, it was just Joe versus AJ, except in WWE. TNA Dream Match. I don't care who walks away with it. I wasn't itching for it to come off him. I liked his babyface run a lot. I thought it was really good.
My top four. As y'all are going over your list, I started thinking some more on who I would pick at number 4, and I think I have the name. But number 1 is going to be Ron Simmons because of first black champion, man. That meant something in '92. I didn't realize how much it meant at the time. I just thought it was cool. Like, man, I've never seen anybody that looked like that. When Andy did it on Vader. And I know, Josh, at that time, you weren't even born yet, right?
92, no.
Yeah, you weren't even born. So you don't remember seeing that live, but goodness gracious, like I'm watching that 7 years old. And Vader was on a roll. Vader was killing people. Like he ripped Mick Foley's ear off. Like Vader was a dangerous dude. and Ron Simmons beat him. And so Ron Simmons definitely is number 1. Of course, number 2 is the Hitman, Bret the Hitman Hart, man. That's my guy.
That's the one I knew for sure was on this list.
That's the Hitman. When I think about quality matches, even when I was thinking about, Shawn Michaels needs to be on my list, I kept thinking every match that every time I think about Shawn, I think Bret. It's not necessarily Shawn on his own contributions, is the Bret stuff. It's always Bret. And like you were talking about the Iron Man match, that match was great because Bret, even in the losing effort, Bret looked great. Yeah. Bret kind of carried that match.
Absolutely.
Same for SummerSlam 92. In a losing effort, Bret made Bulldog look outstanding. If I'm not mistaken, Bulldog was on drugs in that match.
Yes, he was high off his ass.
And Bret carried it and made him look like $1 million. So Bret's my guy. He's always going to have a spot on my list. Number 3 is The Rock. I wanted to be like The Rock a lot when I was little, man. I'll be all the time, man. Be raising the eyebrows. I'll be, giving interviews to people. It doesn't matter what you think. Like in the hallway, people talking to me at school. I wanted to be so much like The Rock when I was younger, man. He has to be on that list for me. And then number 4 was the tricky spot, man. And I know I've said Booker T is usually number or in this list. He's in my consideration for this. Booker's my guy.
Number 5 on your list.
Man, Booker could be in that spot. When I think about Big Van Vader. I loved Vader, man. I liked how powerful and how dominant he was. Vader, WCW Vader.
Right.
It looked like he was trying to murder people. people talk about taking some of his punches now and like, oh man, he didn't really hold back. It was real stiff. It looked like he was trying to take somebody's head or ribs off back in those days. And man, I just liked he was that big. He's doing moonsaults. It was ridiculous, man. Like Vader could be on there, Booker. HBK makes the case as well. But I know you guys probably going to want to log off when I say number 4 is going to
You better not say Roman. You better not say Roman.
Number 4 is going
I'll log off. I'll log off.
Look,
I promise you, I'll log off.
They change your answer right now.
Number 4 is going to be the Stinger.
Oh, okay.
Oh, okay, yeah.
The Stinger.
I thought he had an outside chance of making your top.
When you started talking about Warrior hot tag, and the face paint started coming, and I remember, as a kid, right when the crow was in, I want to get that. We go to like the fair or whatever, and they doing the face paint. Little me with the crow on the face and everything, and even when he was colorful Sting, and how the Horsemen were he was always in some shit with the Horsemen. He was always getting beat up with the Horsemen, or they're protecting him. Then he fought Vader and got his ass beat. Vader beat the shit out of Sting. But he was I want to say the Shawn Michaels of WCW. He was like the focal point of WCW for all those years. Even when the NWO came and did their takeover, it was still Sting is our savior. Like, we need him to stop them. And he was always great, man. So I do think Sting has to be. It was hard to not say Booker T in that situation, man. But I'm trying to look back at Booker T matches and like what was the classic Booker T match. And the only one that I can really think of is his winning the title against Jeff Jarrett. Yeah. I can't really think too many classic Booker matches. So,
but I don't even think that's a classic. I think it was just good because it was Booker T winning the belt. Like, he put in the work and he finally paid off. You know what I'm saying? But it wasn't classic. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Just because of everything that gone down at that bash at the beach, that whole show was just like, wow, this is really happening. This is real life. Yeah. This is real. So that event.
Put the strap on him. It was almost. And you know what I say? I've said this before. Kofi Kingston is the modern day version of what Booker T is.
I can go with that, yeah.
He as far as championship, Booker won a lot of titles. Like, if you needed somebody to have the U.S. title for this time, back in those days, the TV title, the tag team title, like Booker was that guy back in the day. Mm-hmm. And then he finally got the big one over Jeff Jarrett. Even though it wasn't as big as Kofi Mania, back then you didn't think Booker was about to get that belt.
Right. That's the thing that took it. You didn't that match wasn't on the card.
Yeah.
So you did not know. Like, the next day, I remember that happened when it was on Sunday. I remember that Monday going to work, and everybody's like, all the wrestling fans were like, yo, did you see that? Like, did that really happen? Hogan said this, Vince said this, and Booker's the champion. Like, that, I'm saying, that bash at the beach, I looked forever. I tried to find it on, back in the day, tried to find it on VHS. It was so hard to find that videotape, that VHS. But when I finally found it, it was like Crown Jewel. I don't know where it is now, which is crazy, but I mean, it was Crown Jewel. I mean, I was like, damn, this really happened. So that event, and like I say, giving it to Booker, then you'd have to put Kofi on there too. So
they're almost equal. They're almost the same to me. Booker is going to be number 5. If we were to keep going, Booker would be number 5, and that, of course,
that makes sense. Yeah, it has to be. It has to be.
Makes sense.
Yeah. But I want to ask you guys, if we were looking into the future, all right, and you know how back in the day you had the NBA Mount Rushmore, you had Kareem, you had Magic, you had Bird, you had Jordan, right? Mm-hmm. Or Will, whoever the old guys would say. Now you have maybe LeBron as
Kobe
and Kobe on the list. Who do you look at modern era, current era, across the board? Not just WWE, not just AEW, but who do you think could take somebody's spot that's currently active?
I can't do it now because it'd be going off of favorites and not like contributions, favorites, I mean, shoot, I love Keith Lee, man. I'd put him on there right now. You know what I mean? Like, say that's off of favorites, but he hasn't done anything for the business. He's created a stir, surprise from AEW now. But
if you know, I don't want to say in a vacuum, but let's say for whatever reason, if we could predict in the future, there's another big wrestling boom like there was in the 90s and early 2000s, and people were hyped about wrestling again and started to get mainstream. I don't think we can go back to an Attitude Era kind of thing. So I would think it would be more who is like a phenomenal technical wrestler and who can cut a good promo and keep it interesting and stuff like that. And if everything worked out, everything played out the way that it theoretically could in the future, I would say maybe Kenny Omega.
Yeah, I was thinking the same thing.
I would say maybe Kenny Omega could be one of the ones that takes one of those spots. He's just one of the best technical wrestlers. When he's an ass, he's an ass. I wouldn't say. I would say keep him as a heel. Babyface Kenny put on some great matches. I don't know if it's going to be the same, but I would say Kenny.
And his contribution too. I mean, anybody who put together AEW, I got to give them the props. Cody, Bucks, you know, Tony Khan. I give them all. You know, look at what you've done. Nobody thought you'd be here. It's 3 years later, and they're still here. So.
And the only reason I don't give it to Cody is because we're gonna have to see what happens nowadays if he does go back.
Yeah.
I feel like they'll mess him up, but Kenny for me.
Yeah.
I would say Daniel Bryan over Kenny Omega.
Oh yeah.
Only because of, you know, he's everything you just mentioned. He's great on the mic. He's great technical wrestler. Fantastic. But I also think that he's great at training other people as well, and that's not something you hear so much about Omega.
Sure.
Look at Jade Cargill. Just in the matter of months that, you know, the last few matches that I've seen of her, she's looked a lot like miles better.
Yeah, right. She's really good.
Yeah, with just, you know, a little bit of training from him, and I don't know, it's some other people that are coming up. I think his whole idea of getting these young people and kind of molding them and mentoring them is gonna be great for the future of wrestling. And I know he's already helped some people. So if I'm picking between those two guys, I'd say Daniel Bryan over Kenny Omega.
Why are you picking between them? Why can't you just add them? Like you said, this is a whole new Mount Rushmore. You can have Kenny, you can have Daniel Bryan. I wouldn't pick either one over the other one.
I would pick Daniel Bryan over Kenny.
No, I can't. Just because I said the contribution.
Me at the mall. Okay.
Oh yeah, I forgot. No, man, you got a bias. That's like me saying
my Mount Rushmore. Kenny will never be on my wall.
He's got to make it up to me, man. No offense to Kenny, for real. I actually prefer him as a face.
Yeah.
I actually prefer his heel work.
His heel was weird, man. It didn't they didn't start anything. The Forbidden Door thing jacked up. If he would have won all the belts, man, that would have been awesome. But he didn't win all the belts. Like,
yeah, I think he got injured.
I think his matches might have been better as a heel,
but because it was too many interference with them. I like to see clean wins. I like to see clean wins, man.
Yeah, I liked him better as a baby, man. I didn't really like too much of him as a heel. Yeah. He took his heel work a little too seriously and snubbed me at the mall too.
That was awesome. That's why he's my number one on my Mount Rushmore right there. Because he stayed true to character. Yeah, I'll take a picture with you, but not that one.
That guy's a jerk.
I hit my fan quota for the day. Like, it's 8 in the morning, sir.
I'm done with him, man. I also would argue Kofi would be the future to me. He's still active. He's only 40 years old. I don't. When I was thinking Mount Rushmore, I was thinking like we're done already. Not Kofi's still active. I still think he has a few years to go, and then we'll see what, you know, at the end of the day when we start looking at numbers and contributions and all this stuff. Kofi, foreshadowing, you know, a few shows from now, Kofi will probably be on a list or two. But I think at the end of it, Kofi might be able to replace, say, maybe a Booker for me or a Sting or somebody at the end of that.
Sure.
The only way Kofi does that for me is it's because he's been WWE guy the whole time. That's the only reason why he would do it for me. He didn't switch, companies or anything. Well, for now, who knows the future.
Mm-hmm.
But for now, if he stays WWE, that'll put him on the list for me. All right, this guy stayed with the company his whole career. He was able to accomplish all this. He didn't play the politics game backstage. That's why he would do it for me. But I don't think that they're gonna do anything else with Kofi and those guys,
I
man.
don't think so either.
I think those guys will run their course, man. Like Vince likes the New Day. Let's keep them New Day and let's throw pancakes and sell merch. But I don't think any more title runs.
I'll keep buying the shirts.
Singles anyway. They might get a tag belt here and there, but
they'll get the tag belts.
Yeah.
It's a damn shame.
They'll get the tag belts.
I was gonna say that not Booker. See, he's on my mind. He's on my mind, man. He should have made my list. I don't know what I caved for. No, but Big E had the potential to jump in, but I feel like they've killed him.
Yeah,
they killed all the potential. He had when he was the champ, even without the belt right now, he was just that NASCAR. He is that likable person that you can throw out, and he's gonna go to boxing fights, to NASCAR events. He's gonna be on Good Morning America. He's gonna do all this stuff. That's what your champion should be doing.
Yeah, he was.
You can't put Bobby. I love Bobby Lashley, but you can't put Bobby Lashley out there like that. He's not that likable guy.
Yeah.
You can't put Brock on all these shows.
No.
Like, you can't do that. Big E was that person. The smile, he's got that aura about him that everybody likes, and you took the belt off of your guy. That's your guy.
Yeah.
I don't get that.
That's gonna go into a whole nother conversation, man, because
we don't want to have this one at the end of Black History Month.
Did you guys watch the sit down with the three of them, with Kofi, Big E, and Lashley?
Yeah.
Yeah. They all had Ron Simmons on their list too, of course.
Yep.
And then they started giving each other their flowers. I'm a Lashley. I did this because I followed you, and I did it because I followed you. All that stuff.
I kind of believe that with Big E. Following Lashley.
Big E, but like, I haven't seen it yet, but that was kind of what I was, because it's a WWE production, right?
Right.
I feel like that's not like are they really going to be like, well, we really had to fight against everybody to get to where we're at. I don't feel like it's as honest as it's going to be. So
we need to have this sit down.
Bring them on here. Bring them on.
Yo, fellas.
Big E,
Kofi, Bobby, hell, Mark Henry, everybody. If y'all
old friends with Mark, call Mark up.
Yeah, Mark, you know us, man.
Yeah, anytime.
We talked to you before.
Anytime, come on. I'd love to meet Mark Henry.
Come on down to the show, man. We let y'all air out your real grievances and everything that you got to say. Say it.
I swear to God, if you book Mark Henry and we get what's that dude, Odyssey Jones, I'm gonna be God damn it.
I haven't even seen Odyssey Jones in a month, 2 months. Where's the guy at?
I think he tore his ACL, man. He's like out for a while, injured.
The O show is canceled.
Yeah, he's hurt good right now.
Oh, poor guy.
I gotta get going, man.
Oh yeah, you gotta bounce.
Yeah.
All right, man. So yeah, that's pretty much it anyway.
I would say quickly,
thank you all for tuning in.
We didn't throw out the Juice's top 4.
Oh,
we did. San Martino,
Bruno Sammartino, Stone Cold, Ric Flair, and Taker, right?
Taker, my bad.
Right. Just wanted to make sure we got his out there because he couldn't be with us today. But his Mount Rushmore is just as important.
Yeah. So
he had the same picks as us, other than San Martino.
Yeah. So. San Martino's kind of shocking because Brian's not an old dude.
I feel like he's a classic. I feel like he's a classic. He's a classic head, whatever, so he just loves the classic wrestling stuff, which is good.
Bob Backlund.
The next episode, we will do the women, Mount Rushmore of women's wrestling. All right.
We already got the Bellas, so that's 2 more picks.
Thanks, Mom. Appreciate it, Mom. But thank you all for watching. We appreciate you, and we'll holler at you all in the next episode. Peace.